Hello, welcome to Around the Old Town. With me today is Bill Davis, our cameraman, and actually informed me of a situation here at the Abington Senior Center where there was some vandalism done, and Bill, along with some others, took it upon themselves to repair the damage that was done and to try to make the planting session here at the Abington Senior Center a little more productive. Right here is work that Bill did in conjunction with Lowe's, who donated a generous load of construction wood, these 2x10s here, and other wood here that planks around the garden. The managers, Josh and Bill, in particular, worked with Bill Davis on this to get the proper wood to do this planting properly. Originally, the planting was done further down, and the trees blocked the sun from getting to that. So Bill took it upon himself to, and with the seniors here, they moved the planting plants down about maybe 20 feet or so, and they get natural sunlight. Not on today, of course, it's a little overcast and sprinkling. But the managers, Josh and Bill, did an exceptional job with Bill Davis to get this done. And the staff at Lowe's, particularly Rick and Bobby, assisted Bill in getting the wood here and picking out the proper wood. Once the wood was picked out, Glenn LaPointe donated the loam here that you can see, significant amount. Bill cleared the area first, and then had Glenn drop off the loam with significant amount. I don't plant, as most of you know, I'm a city kid, but there's a ton of dirt here, it seems. And again, that was donated by Glenn LaPointe. Once the dirt was in, the master gardeners, Shelley Vigine and Lorraine Ryerson, brought the proper plants and the seeds to get this going. And then the Boy Scouts of Troop 41 planted the seeds under the guidance of Shelley Vigine and Lorraine Ryerson. I guess that was some interesting times planting the seeds, because a lot of the kids weren't familiar about the depth that certain seeds need to grow properly and about trampling on the seeds once they're in. But as you can see, this particular box is growing. I don't see any production of fruit yet, or anything, or vegetables. But there is, obviously there is growth, because these were not planted at this height. So this is working out well. This box in particular is growing well. There are obvious zucchini, summer squash, cucumbers, tomatoes that are producing now. So the project has been very, very successful. And again, it's a typical Abington thing. When there's a problem, people get together to resolve the issue, and through the voluntary time of the people in the community. As I said, the Lowe's people, Josh and Bill, Rick and Bobby, Glenn LaPointe, Bill Davis, Shelley Vigine, Lorraine Ryerson, and the Boy Scouts Troop 41. People solve the problem, they work together to resolve it, and that's what makes Abington Abington. So please keep that in mind. If you come down to the Senior Center, take a look at the garden, see the improvements that were made. Also, the Senior Center functions as a hall, a rental hall. So if you have an event coming up, you want like a christening or something like that, they have a kitchen, you can cook, you can pretty much do anything. Suzanne Justberg is the director of the Abington Senior Center. Give her a call and please check out the price. We recently did a show on Emerald Hall, which was the old VFW on Center Street there. So that's another one you might want to consider. But again, look at the work that the Abington volunteers have done. People working together to improve the community, and that's what it's all about, and that's why I'm proud to live here in Abington, and a lot of you people should be too. So if you get a chance, check this out, and preferably on a sunny day. We're taping this late in July, and we just left the humidity of 80 degrees and 80% humidity. Now it's a little more moderate. Come down, check it out, check out the Senior Center. There's plenty of friends here. You can play games, they have computers, they have books. Just check it out and see what's going on in your community. I in particular wanted to thank Bill Davis for bringing this to our attention, and also for doing the camera work. If you have any events or any news that you want to publicize, such as this, please let us know. My name is Bob Toomey. I can be reached at 781-792-1957, or you can reach me on the computer, which I do check occasionally, Toomey44, that's Toomey, Toomey 44 at Verizon.net. So again, I in particular want to thank the Boy Scouts of Troop 41, Lorraine Ryerson and Shelley Vigine, the Master Gardeners, Glenn LaPointe from his construction company, and the Lowe's staff, Josh and Bill, Rick and Bobby, and Bill Davis, and Suzanne Justberg. Thanks, we'll be in touch. We'll see you on the next show.
Consider that. So what you have brought me is a lot of cucumbers and peas and beans and things like that, and they all have different planting requirements. The lettuce is what we call a cool crop, and that means that it needs to be in the ground pretty early on and then taken out before the summer heat gets here. But you know what? We have some shade here, and it will be cool enough that we can put that lettuce in that area. So we'll put the lettuce in the shade area because lettuce can grow in shade. The rest of it, we're gonna just kind of go one by one. We're gonna discuss what's here, and then I'll show you where to put it and how to put it in. Now, all of these plants look like they have not been in the real dirt. They've been still in their potting soil where you planted them. Have they been in a basement? Where have they been?
Next to a window?
Next to a window?
Have they been like on your counter or in your house?
Okay, one of the things that I'm going to tell you right now, these won't be able to go into the ground because you haven't hardened them off. Does anybody know what that means? The lettuce has been hardened off? Okay. What hardening off means is that you take a plant that you started inside and then you take it outside and you leave it in the shade for an hour or two, and you take it back in, and then the next day you take it back out and you put it closer to the sun for a couple more hours, and then you take it back in. It takes about 4 days to harden off a plant. So we need to harden these plants off. So none of these have been hardened up. Yours have. Okay.
The two at the end. That shows right there, Justin, right? Yep, so the two at the end.
Okay. The rest of these need to be hardened off. And the plants that are in need, they need to go ahead, you need to strip these off and put them into the soil in a pot. Okay? Because if you can put them in just like that, chances are they're not going to make it. Okay? So we need to harden these guys off. And then so we can do that here, and you can take them back home with you. So, either way. But they need to go in and out of the house for the next 3 or 4 days. Can everybody do that?
You guys do that? Actually, that'd be probably pretty good because then they'll be ready for Wednesday night, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that way they'll be ready. Because unless they're hardened off, we go ahead and put them in the ground, but because they haven't been hardened off, they're not used to the weather, they're not going to make it.
All right, so why don't you guys take your things, put them over on that stoop, except for the two at the end, Thomas and Justin.
Okay.
Put them all over on the stoop over there.
So did you guys listen to see what you needed to do? Put them outside for an hour in the shade, then bring them in, and then put them out in a little bit of sun,
The next day, for a couple of hours,
and then bring them in.
and bring them in.
And the corn and the cooks do very well together. You can do the same thing with squash. Squash likes to grow with corn too. So, in fact, have any of you heard of the Three Sisters planting? Okay, this is an old Native American trick, and what they did was they would take a mound, and what they would do is just make a mound of dirt, like a bucket. If you took a bucket, put some dirt in it, and then put it on the ground and patted it out, and put it like a perfect round little mound. What they do is plant corn, wherever I'm sorry. They plant corn, and then they plant a squash plant, and the squash would grow around the base of the corn, and then they plant a pea plant, and the pea would grow up, or bean plant, and the pea or the bean would grow up the corn stalk. So in a small mound, they had corn, beans, and squash. That's a lot of food in a very small area. And it's called the Three Sisters Planting. And we were very lucky that the Iroquois, who were very native to this area, taught some of the first farmers how to do that. And it's been called the Three Sisters forever. So what did they put together? What did they put together?
What were the three
Corn,
sisters?
squash. Very good. Corn, squash, and peas or beans, either one, that will grow up the corn.
Any particular squash or any of them will do?
Any of them would do. You can put zucchini, you can put summer squash, you can put a winter squash, anything you want. Any kind of a squash. And the squash will go around the base, the corn grows up, and the bean or pea grows up the corn. And it's called Three Sisters. The Three Sisters. And it was very important to the Native American tribes that those work together because they could get a lot of food in a very small area, and they could plant a lot in a very small area. So you can remember that. Can all of you remember the Three Sisters? If I said Three Sisters, would it come to you? Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good.
Maybe a quiz at the end.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Why is there a quiz on darn?
Because you need to
Oh,
know.
believe
Skills
me.
for life.
There could be a big quiz on gardening. Okay, now tomatoes. Tomatoes are very special plants. Okay, now tomatoes come in two different kind of subcategories. One is a determinate and one is an indeterminate. And a determinate is a smaller plant that's going to grow in a bush that's going to be smaller. An indeterminate will grow very, very tall, and you will need to really stake it well. Now, one of the things we're going to learn today is how to prune a tomato bush and how to keep it topped off. Because if you don't, it's going to get out of control on you. One of the things I like to do when I'm planting tomatoes,
Bless you.
so I like to take these smaller branches off that are down near the base, and we're going to plant it. And the reason I do that is I like to have about 3 or 4 inches between the ground and the first branch. And the reason I do that is because they need air. They need lots of air to come in and circulate. And that will help you prevent diseases and insects and stuff from getting on your plants. And one of the things you have to worry about, especially in New England, I didn't so much back in Missouri, but here I've noticed that if you don't do that, you're going to get early blight. Who knows what blight is? Blight is something that's nasty. And what's going to happen is you're going to see this stuff come onto your plant. You're going to see funny little discolorations in your leaves. And once it gets in there, it's just almost impossible to treat. So one of the things we want to do is we want to prevent it to begin with. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take these branches up and we're going to give this tomato bush about 3 to 4 inches between the ground and the first branch. And that prevents this from getting wet. And that's where blight comes from. It comes from water. And so we want to keep these from getting wet. So we're going to give it some space so it won't do that. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing you want to know about tomato bushes is we're going to prune these during the course of time. And the reason we do that is because tomato bushes can have what we call suckers. Does anybody know what that is? It's where a branch, see how these are growing off the main branch? Well, sometimes a little branch will come off one of these and it'll try to grow off one of these secondary branches. Now, people say, well, that's good, that gives you more tomatoes. Well, it's not so good because this branch does not have the strength that this one does. And so we want to take it off of there because if you don't, that branch is going to break. And not only will you lose this branch, but the other little branch too, and sometimes you can lose the main branch because it can't hold that kind of weight. So you want to get those off of there. And you want to also take them off because we're going back to the same issue, we're not having enough air. If we have a really dense bush with a lot of extra branches, the bush is not going to get the air and the light that it needs, so it needs to come out of there for another reason. Another thing is when tomatoes start growing, it's okay to top them off. So when it...
Wait, is she the black truck?
Yeah, she's she's on the flip side. She can hear me, that's why she's barking. So when we get up here, we've got a really tall plant, so we're going to top it off. We want to keep it lower because once they get really tall, these main branches don't maintain the integrity that they have closer to the ground, and they're not going to be able to hold the weight of the tomato.
Is there a good rule of thumb as to how tall it should get?
My height? My height, 5'6". That's a good rule.
Taller than you guys.
So, once they hit the top, you know how you can buy those tomato pigeons, and you take them out? Once they start getting above that, you want to start looking at them and going, okay, how much taller do I want it to get? You don't want it to get much taller, so we'll top that off.
Now, is there any special place that you would cut it, like at a joint?
I would always cut it at a joint. See how this joins together right here? If I were pruning
How tall do you want your tomato plants to be when you
I
start?
said, about my height, about 5'6", 5'8".
Oh, that tall before
Yeah.
you start to,
And an impermanent plant is really tall. I mean, they can be 6 foot. If you
Oh, I
don't
know,
keep an
I've
eye
seen
on
them.
Right. And you don't want them to get that tall because, like I said, this top branch gets really, really thin when it starts getting tall, and it's not going to hold the tomatoes. It's too heavy. So to save your tomato bush, go ahead and cut it. It's okay. It won't kill it. I promise. Okay. Now, another thing about tomato plants is they need space. How much space do you think they need between each tomato bush? What do you think, honey? Oh, a foot? Let's try more like 2 or 3. A foot is not very much space. You want them to grow a little bit more than that. So you need at least 2 feet, and I would go for 3 if you have the space. If you're really trying to put a lot of tomato plants in there, give them 2, okay? So another thing, since we have so many, we're going to need lots of stakes to put out. And I'm thinking we have an issue. Okay, how long is your arm? So how far do you think you can stretch to pick?
So you're gonna be able to pick in the middle?
depends on how far you stretch.
Not you. Maybe you.
Okay,
If you stand on this side right here.
don't fall in front. Okay, here's the thing. Don't plant any more than 2 to 3 feet in because you're not going to be able to reach it, I guarantee it, without damaging plants. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some companion planting. What that means is we're going to put some plants down the middle of this thing, and they're going to be there for a reason. One, marigolds are very good for tomatoes. You know why? Because they do 3 things.
Animals don't like the smell.
Animals do not like smell. They also do something below the soil. Who knows what a nematode is? Who can tell me what a nematode is? Anybody?
Yeah, I know it sounds funny.
Okay, they live in the soil and you can't see them. But some of them can cause some major issues for tomato plants. They have what they call a knot nematode, and what happens is they can take the tomato roots and they can tie them literally into knots. And so the roots don't grow, the tomato plants don't grow, and all of a sudden you've got a tomato plant that looks kind of funky and you're going, what happened to my tomato plant? And that's usually what happened is those nematodes down there got next to your roots and did some major damage. So the marigolds chase off those nematodes. They don't like them. They go away. The other thing that you can plant that nematodes don't like are radishes. They don't like radishes, so that's another good companion plant. Another companion plant for tomatoes is carrots. Why do you think carrots and tomatoes go well together? Well, how does a carrot grow?
Underground.
Underground. So what happens is that carrot is growing underground and it loosens up the soil and lets the air get in there really well. And the tomatoes really appreciate that because the air helps their roots grow. So they grow really well together. So what we're going to do today is we're going to plant a center row of marigolds of about 2 feet wide. That's what we need, about 2 feet. And that way we've got good protection for the tomato plants, and then that puts our tomato plants out this way where we can pick them without damaging them, okay? All right, so why don't we start with the marigolds? I have tons of marigold seeds, so we can do those. Who has that little rake? Who has that little rake? I did. Okay, we're going to use that. You know why? This is the perfect size. Right, we're going to go down, but you know what else? It makes the perfect row to put your seeds in. So why don't you go down one of these ends and start about midway. How many feet have we got across here, you think? I think it's about 8.
8, yeah. So about right here.
Yeah, about right there. And what I want you to do is I want you to go down the middle and make a complete row all the way to the end, and then step to one side, do another one, and then step to the other side and do another one.
So you're gonna make 3 rows.
3 rows.
Like, watch. You're gonna make 3 rows, like you're gonna drag it in the soil, like 1, 2, 3. Drag it all the way back, okay? So you're gonna get up into the dirt. Get up,
Get in.
up in, turn around.
Flip-flop. Yeah,
Yep.
no flip-flops.
Put your trowel, put it down here. Yep, now start dragging. Make a straight line. Dig it deep though. Good.
I'm wearing nice boots. My weight is making sick.
Don't be afraid to dig it down.
You're not gonna. It doesn't really matter if you kill ants.
Alright, so
I don't care about ants.
Luke, check and see if you're doing it right.
You're on TV, right?
Ask. Alright, good. There you go. Now you know.
Are we all gonna do it?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna do something. There's a lot of work to do.
Sweet. And there's the camera.
Good job, honey. Good job.
That's nice. I have about 2 trowels.
My weight would make it.
Yeah, mine.
Doing good. Keep it going.
Keep going, Luke.
We found your skill, Luke.
Guys, listen up.
Sorry.
Good. Keep it down. Good. Doing a good job. Dig it in. There you go. Almost there.
You're like 2 feet away.
Back of the thing over, and it's going to tell you how to plant it. Exactly. Just right. Now, that's a little hard to tell, so just kind of visualize it and see what you need. Okay? What I usually do is I put my finger in the yep, right up to my first nose, and then use it about right. Okay? Just put your holes in there and then put a seed in there. Okay? That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's start all the way down here.
Did everybody
Okay,
hear how
one
to
on each
plant them?
side, and you can start planting.
All right, on the back. Look at the back of your thing. It tells you how to
It says
green. No, right here, the green letters. So read. It's in the upper right. Read the directions on how to put it in. Some of you guys can go on this side.
So when I do the hole, it's 6 feet apart.
What does it say?
Because it says depth
Down a 1/4 of an
1/4
inch.
Okay, so how much? So look at it. It says about. So you want to put it down about 1/4 of an inch. That's only going to be like your fingernail, just like a little bit. Okay. You don't want
You
to
said
go.
up to your first knuckle.
All right. Well, that's what she said. Then all right. So go down to about your first knuckle then. That's
So
definitely
then
more
do
than
you
1/4 of an
like
inch.
put the seed in after or just?
So yep. So you want to dig a little hole like that. Then you're going to take your seeds.
Drop it in.
So it says about 6 inches apart. So there, a good judge of 6 inches
Like
is
this?
to go like this.
Pull this off?
You, no. Yeah, no kidding. So like that. See how those are about 6 inches?
And then you open the
Then,
seeds.
yep, open your seeds.
Oh, this makes sense.
Now if the only thing we're trying down is, nope, we don't need those right now.
So you're saying we do need them?
So I need, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 5 of you on this side, 5 of you on this side. Pick a spot. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't walk through it.
I'm going through it.
Spread out. Pick a spot.
Somebody ain't going to plant them right now?
Yes.
So do you cover the hole when you're done?
Do you cover the hole when you're done? Do you cover it after you put the seed in?
Don't mess
One
up.
seed per hole. There you go. Did you hear it? Did you guys hear that? 1 seed per hole. Cover it when you're done.
Cover it and pat it. Cover it and pat it. And then we've got to water it, but we're going to put the other plants in before we water it.
Don't forget to plant the middle trowel area as well. I need more guys over here.
All right.
More seeds. Okay.
Oh, we get it sinking.
Plenty of seeds.
Mr. Minchello. Mr. Minchello.
Hank,
Crinkle, I need a diaper change.
Move it, DJ.
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't stop
I'm fine.
All right, don't touch the lens, guys.
Hi. Stop talking. Hey, over here. Over here. Give or take, buddy. Get off, mate. Hey, Luke. Give or take. Whoa, DJ.
That's enough.
I'm on TV.
Okay, guys, let's go back over
Hi.
here.
I'm crazy.
It's off. Hey, I got the pencil over here. Martin, look it up. Yeah, I'll see.
Me too.
They were playing. No,
Stand on the seat.
Oh, you're so light.
Okay, guys.
come on over. Listen
Give
up.
me a heads up when you're ready to start.
Pay attention.
It's a teacup Yorkie.
Yeah, I hope it bites you. You sound so vicious in the truck, but you said so small.
Well, teacup Yorkie.
They're pretty easy to take care of.
Well, I worry about the leg. As long as I put it better leg.
Because they're so small.
Yeah.
Small legs.
I have Okay, guys, let's do these tomato plants.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready, Shelly, okay?
Hey, how's it going, peoples?
Not on yet.
Colton! Flower bed.
The more activities I have,
You're too DJ, she's your sauce.
Okay, guys, let's do these tomato bushes.
Guys, come on. Over here. Luke.
I can't take your dog. She's so cute.
Guys, stay out of the
Oh, yeah.
gardening bed. You don't want to keep walking on that soil.
No, you don't, because what will we do? It'll compact the soil. That's right. If we compact this soil, it's going to be hard. But that's okay, because we're going to be raking it. Want to make sure, don't pull, pinch. Pinch. Okay. Now, some of these are kind of small, so let's get the big ones in. See these bigger ones with the big stalks on them? Let's get those in first. Okay, and we need 2 feet between them, right? Okay.
I guess he's trying to escape. I got gloves. I have a shop. Where is there?
This is the smallest of the stems.
I want to plant one.
Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to go in about a foot from the edge.
I have 2 more traps.
I already told you. I'm just going to make a big hole here. Okay? Now, I'm going to take off this bottom and the top one. And I'm just going to make sure I get it covered really good. I'm going to tack it down. Okay? All right, guys. Okay, grab a trowel, a shovel, and let me see your tomato bushes before you put them in.
Like this one.
Okay?
Hey, get our trowel.
Okay, I don't know.
Hey, grab a shovel.
No, I can't have it.
Here's the thick one. One's this one.
You don't need that.
Here's the thick one. Okay, there you go, honey. Remember, give me 2 feet between this one.
So should we use feet? Like go like...
Yeah, you can do that. You're not quite 2 feet. Give it about another half.
Should we start another row?
Right there. Okay.
We start a new row.
No, you won't be, well, yeah, you can reach that far, yeah. So you can go ahead and start a new row. Okay, who wants a tomato?
I do.
Okay, here's a good one. That's a good one. Here's a good one.
I see this. Step in 2 steps. No, step in 2.5. One away. 1, 2, 3.
Get a big hole first, Cole.
Do you know how deep it goes? Is it not
I'm good.
Here's what I do.
No, don't.
There's a spider on the
Yep, I'm gonna find you one day.
It's fine. It's very
Wait, that's a little. What? So do I stand up and Can I take off this one?
I wouldn't go back. No, not that.
Yeah, go ahead and take that. Take it, break.
I have this.
Like, very yes, that was good.
Should I put this one in This one's bending.
That's okay.
well. You both.
That one's bending.
No, they're going to be planted. They're supposed to be planted here. The only
Come on,
reason why.
Tom. Let's start on the other side. We need some notes over there. Okay, we have our,
Hey guys, come on, listen up.
okay, we have our tomatoes planted and we have our marigolds planted. Now the next important thing we need to do is water. Now, wait a minute. The one thing about watering is you don't want to overdo it because then you will kill your plants. We have more plants die from overwatering than we do underwatering. Now what do you think a plant needs for water in a week? About an inch.
Give or take an inch.
Okay. And somebody asked me, how do you know when you're done? And I always said a tuna can. If you put a tuna can out and the tuna can is full, you're done. That's all you need. Okay? Now, the other thing about watering is water underneath. Don't water the leaves. We're trying to keep the leaves dry as we can. Don't water the leaves. The next thing to remember is try to water just the roots and not the whole ground. So when I say that, what does that mean?
Water the ground.
Just water the roots. Right. One of the easiest ways to do that is what I do is I might dig a little trench around it and then just fill the trench. Or you can use an old milk bottle where you cut the milk carton in half and you put the neck part of it in and then you put the water into the carton and it just slowly feeds the plant. Or you could use a soaker hose. Who knows what a soaker hose is? Okay, you want to tell them?
Sort of like a hose that has like holes and everything.
A soaker hose is like, it's usually black in color and it just emits water at a very low pressure. So what you're going to see is it looks like the hose is sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you want. And you're going to put it up next to the plants. So it's only going to water the root system and not the whole ground. Those are a good way to water. Now if you're watering by a can, just be sure and water right around the root system, okay? One of the other things to know is that mulching is very important. Mulching helps you retain water and it helps protect the plant. The only thing is don't put the mulch right up against the stem. Give it about a good inch around the plant. But don't get that mulch up next to the stem because if you do, it can help rot that stem and you're going to lose your plant. Okay? All right, so I need to find out if we have access to water. Here's the faucet. Water in the evening, not the morning. Why would I do that?
The sun doesn't evaporate the water.
Good point. Sun doesn't evaporate the water. Also, if you do it during the daytime when you have a strong sun, what will happen if you get the plant?
Well, evaporates.
What, hon?
We already went over this.
Okay, but what will happen is it can damage the plant, it can burn the plant, or it could help introduce something like blight, and that's what we don't want to do. Okay, so you want to water from the base. Normally I wouldn't water at this time of day, but since we just got these plants in, we need to give them some water. So why don't you fill up your buckets over here?
Oh, yeah, I'm still
Also, water during the day, don't take the water out of the hose. Why? No, it's hot. You know, it's really cool. Burns the plant. Wait until it cools off and then you can get
There's a lot of shit that's really cool, okay? The old Addington old country store.
They haven't been shovel. No, they haven't given it to the first years yet.
Well, you guys aren't
I trained it. I have one too.
I got one. And I don't have to hold it. You put it on it.
And Mike taught it.
But I have to tell them that we did.
You heard about that, right?
You don't
You know who it starts getting heavy before you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Where did Tommy at? He said fish.
I'm going to go ahead and give these marigolds some water down the center. You guys go ahead and take care of the tomatoes. Remember,
Come on, DJ.
just do the
DJ, come on,
roots.
you should know this. You're a scout. Scouts are cool.
First year scout.
Yes.
No, we're just saying.
Scouts are cool.
I think you're first year scout. Everybody's paying attention? Hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're over.
I was 25 on shot.
Okay, remember, try to avoid the leaves. Try to avoid the leaves going on.
You don't want to get the leaves.
I got this. No,
Try to avoid the leaves. Keep it down. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Let me get the seeds out of the way. Jason!
But, Jason, try not to get on the seats. Oh, DJ, you want to do it? I haven't done it yet. DJ, I want to do it.
I do it. DJ, can I do it?
Yes, I do it. Here.
DJ?
Stop pushing it. Don't bring it up. I want the button. Stop. I'm not finished.
Stop.
Oh, push me. Yes, you did.
DJ, you're killing the plant. Don't kill the plant.
They need water. Stop, Paul.
They don't
I'm not pushing you. I'm over here.
They would like water.
Throw for me.
Luke does.
I'm not wearing flip-flops, but I will.
Why don't we have somebody who's hiding in the back?
Really?
I was hiding in the back.
Me out. I've done stuff.
I have. I did a bunch of the.
Start here and somebody start here.
I'll start right here.
Okay, other way guys, we're going across.
Oh.
Turn it around and walk all the way down to the end.
You've done one. Who hasn't done one?
Me.
I tried.
All right, Bobby.
I haven't
Luke,
done
let Bobby do
Paul,
it.
you're doing it a little crooked.
I know.
Let him do it.
I'm curvy like
Straight.
who's doing
What's kind of going on?
who's doing that one? Justin, I'll do it.
Paul, you're zigzagging a bit.
Well, you're dirty. From Degrassi or?
You leave it?
Yes.
It's on her belly.
Ooh, can I plant the pumpkin?
No.
I want to plant the donuts.
Sister.
It needs to down about an inch, okay? So let my whole thing down. That'll be good.
Human.
Winter squash?
No, the name don't start.
Okay. All right.
Bobby, it goes down your whole finger.
Yeah. All right. Follow his lead. Honey, follow his lead.
How many
We'll show you
inches
what
do
to
they
do.
have to be apart?
He's
Make it
about the
4.
same size as my
Make it 4 feet.
Can we put them in my cup?
So instead of doing those 2 feet that we did in the other, do 4. Okay?
Oh, so we have one. Oh, let me do one.
Can I see one?
I want to go try and just do the whole thing.
Can I see one?
Where do I start the start at the end? No.
Start at the end, honey.
Where do I start my squat?
The end.
You're excused.
You're excused.
Okay, you're gonna stick it
You're excused, I said.
here.
Oh, thin.
And you put a hole. Is this 1 seed? Also, you have a
One.
Come on, no.
What it is. Peter, what are you doing?
covered on 4 feet.
Yeah, 4 feet.
Okay. Who would like to have some carrot seeds over here?
Wait, same thing we did.
Come on, you two.
Excuse me, Kelly, are we doing all 3 rows this week?
They're winter squash and pumpkin. They can just do one.
I got a seed.
Can I see a seed, you guys?
What are you doing? Your hand's in there.
Now, we're going to look at these seeds, and they're going to be smaller than anything you've dealt with. See how little they are? Yeah. So if you get 2 or 3 or even 4 in one hole, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll thin them out later, okay? We want to plant these next to the tomatoes. So maybe like right in here, do a little row, like a foot row of carrots. Then move down, do another one, move down, do another one. Okay?
I get you.
Okay, that's good. That sounds great.
Alright, so I'll fit it.
Just like stick your finger in and just.
Okay, now carrots are a little bit different.
Yeah.
We want to almost surface sow these things. So what you want to do is just kind of rough up the ground a little bit with your hand, and then just sprinkle them on top. And then what you're going to do, just like this. And you just kind of do this. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and have another one. Oh well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm just going to kind of try to get them not too close together and try to kind of space them out a little bit. But these are so tiny, don't worry about it if that doesn't happen, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just barely going to cover these. I mean, barely. You just want to put a tiny bit of soil on top of them and pat them down. Okay? Okay. Just a tiny bit of soil. That's right. Just kind of, that's it. Okay.
Good luck with everything. This is a great project.
We do every row. I'm happy about it.
I just came here.
The one you brought home from San Diego.
And each of the holes, do them 3 feet apart or 2 feet. Let's do them 2 feet because we're limited on space. So one plant all down the front here, okay?
Hey, don't waste it.
3 feet apart.
All right. So like one there, one there, one there.
Yeah, let's start at the end. Put one at the end.
Jesus, Bessie, one.
I'll make you spread them.
I can make it with my hand. Okay, you got 3 or 4 in there. So what we're going to do, wait a minute, here, we got 3 or 4 in here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this apart. Why can't you put trees on and take this apart?
Why not? I'm going shopping.
With who?
My mom.
Who's ready for the second one? This is kind of like taking apart.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, this one. Okay.
Alright.
Where's the other one? Okay. Oh, mark out 3 feet. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Okay. Yeah, so we help for you, honey. Up there, you know. Bring it closer to me. Yeah.
Chew it and spit it.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a bright. Watch out! And I'll go 3 fingers. DJ, watch out!
Right here.
Cameraman.
Right here.
Cameraman. How you doing? Hi.
Here.
Just don't have to be that young one. That's where my cucumbers go.
Here.
I know. I need a shovel. Okay.
Be careful with it. Okay?
Alright. Alrighty then.
1, 2, 1.
Well.
My left leg's last night. It was fun though. That was the best part. Is there any real harm in shape or just you being retarded for 30 seconds?
Where's the grasshopper?
Yeah. That was an excuse for being Robert Carroll.
Guys, don't walk on the. Try not to walk on the bed.
This is the Bernie. This is the Bernie.
Don't step on it.
There we go. Okay, you're off. Who needs a cucumber?
No, get off me.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, put it in.
I told you it wasn't going to be too big. Wait, are grasshoppers good for gardens?
Well, they can eat stuff, but they're pretty good. I keep them around.
I have another one.
Okay, now pat it down. Really good. Okay. Okay, honey. Here you go.
You take 1, take 2.
Okay, who needs a plant? You do? There you go. See where that one is? Start about 3 feet out.
I made a football good play. Which one?
Honey?
Made a football good play. Which one are we playing?
I'll take one.
Okay.
Right here.
Guys, you got something to plant. The quicker we get to plant it.
I'll take
Stop obsessing over
A
it.
lot of stuff to plant.
Stop obsessing over it. Stop obsessing. I killed the grasshoppers. Stop obsessing over it.
Yeah, you just killed the grasshopper. Jiminy Cricket. Who murdered Jiminy Cricket?
I couldn't like.
Whoever killed Jiminy Cricket's a big murder. Monster. Monster. You. Oh, that's mine.
That side's so much better.
Okay.
All right. You want it? You get the lettuce? Okay. Right there. Right on the.
Plant it in this.
Yeah. I'll plant one. Let's do that toward the shade. Let's put them over there.
Space over here.
Yeah.
I'll plant one.
This is the one plant you actually plant in this thing. I'm thinking about these trees.
Anybody have a trowel?
They leave those in the pot.
The pot's soaking wet.
Okay, you guys need to move so they can
Keep
plant.
these in the shade. Let's go over here where we have this shade to us. And we're gonna plant them right in the middle of the cube. You got a hole, just lightly cover. You just pat it down. You're done. Okay?
Where?
Right there will be good.
Right here?
No, I've already done this one. Come on down. Over here, honey. See where that hole is started to be dug right there?
Yeah.
Right in here. Why don't we put that right in here? Okay?
No, I got this.
I want to
You're a master gardener.
How about some teamwork?
9 o'clock to
Instead of some
11
arguing.
o'clock.
Come on, DJ, stop on.
Gardening's a trial and error.
That'd be a little cheap.
Oh, here it is, yeah.
If you ever go
No, that's a little too. That's too shallow.
you should hear All right.
I'll take one.
I see a big space right in the middle calling for butternut.
This?
Yeah, right there. Come over here, honey. Come over here. Why don't you put one right there? Okay.
We're gonna hook the pollock in the head on.
A pelican? What's that? Am I?
Yeah, I see it.
I thought you said a
What am I doing?
Yeah, I know. A pelican?
Butternut.
Okay. How about a butternut right here?
Yeah, I think that's too deep.
Name's getting so old.
Follow her.
I think
John's
that's
gonna
too
show you where to plant it.
Dad, do you think that's too deep?
Butternut. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. What's the rule of thumb on them?
Fender.
Curiosity killed the cat?
A little bit deeper. Make sure that's covered good.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, it's a phrase.
Okay, we're
Hey, here.
Curiosity killed the cat named Paul.
Hey, this is Paul. Did
yeah,
it
right
turn
there,
to
right
you?
there, right where you had it. Right there.
George.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
Forget it. Don't walk. No. Don't walk through it. Go around.
Where should I put it?
Honey, come here.
Who's Girl.
Marshall, you like this
What's
one?
her name?
I don't feel like
Where should I put this?
all the guys were like wearing like t-shirts and shorts.
Put mine right here.
Girls were wearing like
Is patience and just being,
Yeah, there's
you
only
know,
one month.
learning that not everything in there is a plant that needs to stay. And sometimes you'll mistake a weed in a vegetable plant. That's okay, it happens. Don't worry about it. But you need to weed and get all the weeds out of there and make sure they have plenty of water. Now the nice thing about weeding is when you pull a weed up, you can tell whether it has too much water or not enough water. And that's a good thing to know. I'd rather see not quite enough water than too much water. Because if you have too much water, you drown the roots and your plant dies.
How can you tell by looking at the weed?
The weed, when you pull it up, you look at the root. If it has a lot of water or mud on it, you know you got too much water. But you pull it up and it looks kind of crumbly and dry, that's probably okay. You know, but if you pull it up and it's like really like looking dry, you need to put some water on it.
So with respect to watering the garden here, just once a week?
Once a week will do it if you do it right.
Okay.
And I would suggest soaker hoses, guys. Bring some mulch and put some mulch around the plants. They'll love you for it. And
Who would love you?
The plants.
What kind of a mulch would you suggest?
It's Lord.
Just, I like leaf mulch. I like leaf mulch a lot because it has so much protein and stuff in it that feeds the plants.
Just chewed up leaves.
Yeah, just shoot up leaves.
We got plenty of them.
No, let me tell you, it's my best crop. Huh?
I've heard dried grass clippings. Is that
Gardy.
It does, it does.
Stuff out of your lawnmower?
Yeah, stuff out of your lawnmower, dried up leaves that you crunch and make them really small.
How do you guys
Cow. Manure.
Yes, you could use some manure, but now when it comes to manures, you have to be careful. Why? Well, because when you use manure, it has to age. It has to sit for about 6 months to a year. And if it's chicken manure, it has to sit for 2 years. Why? Because it's what we call hot. If you put that on your plants just right after you take it out of a field, you're going to burn the holy heck out of your plants because it has so much stuff in it, so much nitrogen and stuff, it's just going to burn them up. So you have to let it age, and you want to water it a lot because what you're getting out of there, cows and chickens, they range, so they go and they eat all kinds of weeds and stuff. So when they leave their droppings, what's going to happen is those seeds go through and they end up in the droppings, and what you want to do is get rid of those. By aging and watering, you can do that.
Doesn't dead fish work?
Yes, actually, dead fish work really, really well. You know, what you can do is you can take the fish, the dead fish, you want to crunch it up somehow through some kind of a mill or something, put it in some water, and then use that. Let it sit overnight because you want that fish meal to get in there really well, and then you can use that, and it works really well. It does.
Does peat moss work?
I don't like to use peat moss because peat moss is not a renewable source. Can somebody tell me why it's not a renewable source? You know how long it takes to create peat moss?
1 million years?
About. You're pretty doggone close. It takes a long time to recreate that peat moss. And we're kind of draining like the Everglades and other places because we're really farming the peat moss. But unfortunately what they don't realize is they can farm it all they want. It's just going to take millions of years for it to grow back, and none of us will be here to see the rewards. So I don't like to use peat moss for that reason. But there are other good things that you could use, like winter rye wheat, things like tansy. Does anybody know what tansy is? No. Tansy is an herb that grows wild, and you have to be careful with it because it's invasive. It's kind of like mint. But if you cut that tansy down and make it into mulch, it's really good for your beds. The plants like it because it gives a lot of stuff to it. But the other thing good about tansy is it's one of those things that like squash bugs and flies do not like. And so if you use it as a mulch, it keeps the squash bugs away from your squashes, and it keeps cucumber beetles away from the cucumbers because they don't like the tansy. And they don't like, and flies don't like tansy. I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't like flies near my plants. So the tansy doesn't like, the flies don't like the tansy, so tansy's very good to use for that.
Sounds like something we probably use.
Yeah.
So where do we put the mulch? Just around the base of the plant?
No. You don't want it on the plant itself. Kind of around. Yeah. Give it about an inch around.
So we shouldn't really do anything now. We should probably wait till everything starts to come up.
Yeah, you really
So
should.
you can really
now,
see
you can
where
go ahead
everything's
and
coming
mulch the tomatoes a little bit, but you put the carrots in there. So wait for them to come up.
Just wait for everything to come up.
Yeah, and then start mulching.
And when should we start seeing that stuff?
On the back of your packages, it'll tell you 14 to 20 days for germination, and that means when the plant germinates, and then in about 20 days you'll start seeing the green stuff come up. Okay? Okay, and then you have to worry about harvesting. But that's going to be down the road, and we'll talk before then, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Alrighty, guys, it sure was nice to meet you.
Thank you. You guys give her. All right, thank you.
All right, nobody runs off yet.
Crew 41 rocks.
Yeah. Go Bruins. Every single ounce of trash needs to be picked up.
I have a trash bag right here.
I got trash in my pocket. I don't want to see a cup, a water bottle.
All right.
Every tool needs to be picked up.
Wait a minute.
Start. Everybody.
Welcome, folks. I'm Billy Davis, and this is Shelley Vagine. Shelley Vagine. We're here on behalf of Bob Toomey around the town. We just finished up doing the community garden at the senior center. I'd like to thank Troop 41, the scouts and the scout leaders. I'd also like to thank Shelley Vagine, Lorraine Ryerson, Suzanne DeJustberg. She's pretty. I'd also like to thank Lowe's. Let me turn the page here, this way. I'd like to thank managers Josh and Bill from Lowe's for their donation of the wood products here. Also Rick and Bobby at Lowe's for helping me get the material that I needed to do this. And I'd also like to thank Glenn LaPointe. He gave us a truckload of loom so we could fill up these beds. He made sure that it was good loom for us. Thank you, comrade. Semper Fi. And Shelley?
I'd like to thank Trish and Vicki from Sionis who helped us get some more loom to put in here. And I'd also like to thank the scouts. They were a great bunch of kids to work with.
Thank you. And on behalf of Bob Toomey, good day and be well.
Hi, this is Ann Jesberg at the Abington Senior Center. I would just like to thank Troop 41 for their wonderful planting and their service here. Shelley, I'd like to thank, and I'd also like to say that the vegetables here are going to the Abington seniors for their Tuesday lunches, but a lot of the vegetables will be going to the community garden and being sold there. So come on down, we're here on Saturdays.